Welcome to Strange Paths, a podcast where we read choose your own adventure style stories. We're your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Megan.
And this week, I have a story for us.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
It is
Is it about slugs?
not about slugs.
Is it about crocs?
Is it
not
about how
crocs.
it's almost October?
It is
the
not
best
about
month?
how it's almost October.
Almost October. I'm so happy.
It is called Beginnings.
The beginning of October.
Yeah.
Not quite.
The beginning of Halloween month.
No.
Beginning of when I win the lottery.
Oh. Yeah. When's the beginning of that?
I don't
Yeah.
know. But-
Write that story. I'm sorry. What's your story about beginnings?
Yeah, we want to know.
It's called Beginnings, and this version is the unedited version.
Oh, the X-rated version.
So
That's what that means, right? Uncut.
yeah, let's go with that. It's the uncut version, so there might be some more like boobies in it or something.
Some Tetons.
Well, it's just like I don't know. I was trying to think back to any like unedited version of a movie I've seen, and that's usually just what it meant.
that it has boobs in it.
Yeah, I want someone to put out an unedited movie where it's literally just every single like film take with like no music, no Foley, nothing.
Yeah,
and
it's just like them
just all of
trying
that,
to make
just
it.
hours and hours of footage,
God.
completely unedited.
I mean, It's Always Sunny. You would never get through an episode. Not even one episode.
No, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch like superhero movies like that.
Yeah, with no like just the green screen,
Right.
like no actual anything on the green screen.
Yeah, they're like, you
I
have
would
to put
watch
me down.
those.
My crotch is numb. Just put me down for a minute.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
On beginning.
Oh,
On
yeah.
beginnings.
Let's begin.
I
It's
can't
Alright.
wait.
Beep 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 beep.
Oh,
Your eyes too heavy to open, you slap your hand across the bedside table a few times before finally finding the snooze button on your alarm clock. Turning back over, determined to enjoy the comfort of your bed, your peace is interrupted by the voice of your mom calling up the stairs. Breakfast is ready. Hurry up. Dad has a surprise from work. A surprise?
did he just come home from work?
from work.
Maybe it would be
Okay.
worth it to give up the comfort of the mattress. Your dad's been working at some new factory a local entrepreneur just opened. Due to the nature of his work, he's normally not allowed to talk about what he does at all. In fact, last time you asked him about his day, he quickly shoved his fingers into his ears and ran away, yelling, "La la la, I can't hear you, la la la." You figure it must be stressful, though, since he's been a lot more anxious than usual. Your mom has also voiced her concern since he rarely seems to sleep. Your dad refuses to have any discussion about it. So what should you do? If you decide to go see the surprise, turn to page 3. If you decide the bed is just too comfy, turn to page 2.
Oh,
I-
it is comfy though.
I never press snooze. I don't know. I probably would just.
Ever? Not in your life?
You just let the alarm go?
No, I just turn it off and I just get up. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see.
I can't believe that you've never pushed snooze.
I agree with that, though.
Excuse you, you are the worst.
I don't press snooze,
You didn't used to.
and I don't now.
Oh yeah,
and
you
I
do.
never will.
I have my
He sure
Nest
does.
cameras all in your house, and I see you press it all the time.
Mm. I see.
Well, you don't press snooze. You
Or
just
I
turn
guess
off the
you see.
alarm and go to sleep.
Yeah, but I don't hit snooze.
No, I am your snooze.
You are.
So what do you guys want to do?
You don't. He doesn't hit me though. I'm not boring and I'm not bruised. I am bruised, but not from this.
Doesn't add up.
Anyway.
So I want to go see. That's what I
Yeah,
want
see.
I mean, you can't keep sleeping.
to
Okay.
candy.
And your mom's just gonna yell at you and make you all stressed out anyway.
All right. A surprise is pretty hard to ignore. Your dad famously detests making a big deal out of holidays and birthdays, in any case. Last year, he spent Christmas going door to door to tell the neighbor kids not only that Santa doesn't exist, but parents only perpetuate the idea because they lack the fortitude to discipline their kids when necessary.
Man, this guy is sounding more and more familiar to me.
Good morning, kiddo. Your dad is beaming with an emotion you don't quite recognize. Did I ever tell you about how the Easter Bunny is just a... A plot fabricated by Big Egg to push their product. Yeah, Dad, you've told me. Seemingly pleased, your dad returns to his omelet while your mother stares in disbelief at the man she married a few months ago.
What?
Some of the neighbors thought waiting this long was a little odd, but as your mom always stated while glancing towards you, she wanted to, quote, make sure it stuck. Well, come on, dear, tell us the news. You've been talking about nothing else since you got in last night. All right. So, kiddo, how would you like to take a month off of school to help Dad with some top secret stuff at work?
Oh my God.
The company even contacted the school and assured me that you won't even have to make up the work when you get back.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Your mind...
To hang out with your shithole dad who wants to tell you everything sucks.
Instead of your peers, yes.
Yes.
Your mind begins to spin at the thought. No school for an entire month. A month away from the daily nagging of teachers begging for leftovers from your lunch. A break from hiding from the rape gangs trying to get off before the first bell.
Oh my God.
And maybe even some time to let that rash you got from the unvaccinated kids scab over.
Oh man. This sounds like a dream though.
Yes.
Of course I'll help. When can I start? You say, nearly knocking over your glass of milk while exclaiming. Your dad glances outside for a moment before turning back to you and your mom. Any second now. Your dad says, letting his voice trail off ominously. The three of you sit at the table, an eerie silence blanketing the room. You glance nervously towards the door as the seconds start to feel like hours. Your mom sighs loudly and returns to getting ready for her day. Your dad remains fixated on the door. You give up after a few minutes and have some breakfast.
What?
After finishing your plate and cleaning the dishes, you hear a thud from outside. The clinking of glass emanates across the kitchen floor as a smoke grenade is tossed through a window. Letting out an embarrassingly pitched yelp, you look to your dad, who is busy putting on a gas mask. In a muffled voice, he yells out to you, "Have fun!"
Have fun?
Just as your dad finishes putting on the mask, he runs out of the room. Before you can follow, 3 men, all dressed in black, break through the front door.
Oh my God.
2 of them have catch poles meant for aggressive dogs, while the third holds something small in his hands, but you can't make it out through the water building in your eyes from the smoke. The 2 men ensnare you with their restraining poles, and a black mask is thrown over your head.
Oh my God. Thanks, Dad.
Stumbling, you are led out and tossed into the back of a vehicle, unable to tell where you're heading next. A few hours later, the vehicle stops. The door to the back is open, and you are guided with the catch poles into a large building. No one speaks to you. Eventually, you are seated, and the black mask is removed. You find yourself in an empty office. The room itself is stuffy and sparsely decorated, except for the large, brightly colored sign on the back wall. It appears to be an advertisement for some product, but you've never heard of it before now. For Frapsy? You say aloud. That's right, child, says a pasty, unkempt man entering the office. Welcome to my budding empire. The name's... Well, let's not worry about formalities just yet. He finishes while throwing up the most awkward finger guns you've ever seen, before blowing out each finger as if it were smoking.
Nice, nice. I like that. I'm going to do that every single second of the day.
Shuffling around the room, he slides into the desk in front of you. Fact is, I've had some keen investors who are very excited about our new products. We've been trying to find ways to innovate to maximize our profits. The Frapsy Mist air filtration system has been a rousing success for our employee productivity, but we need to branch out a bit. That's where you come in. Yes, even a kid such as yourself can be quite the boon to me. You try to make eye contact with the man as he talks, but he refuses to meet your gaze before continuing. Simply put...
Are you just like trying to get him like, hey, so hard?
Simply put, we have 2 research divisions. You get to have your choice of which one you join to put your talents towards. There's the control group, where you'll be uninhibited by the constraints of the field tests normally required, or there's genetics, where we're trying to find other combinations as subtle yet as complex as Frapsy.
Genetics.
Frapsy? Is that like coffee mixed with soda, you ask? The man slams his hands down on the desk before pointing a finger at your face. How dare you? Frapsy is an empire. Frapsy is the child born of my sweat, blood, and tears. It cannot be distilled into such simple components, especially not by some child. Unsure what else to say since the man has turned very red. You try to think of which research division you want to help out with while the man takes several doses of an inhaler he pulled from his shirt's breast pocket.
Yeah, it's serious.
If you choose the control group, turn to page 6. If you'd rather help out with genetics, turn to page 10.
Well, now that we've made him mad, I don't want to do genetics.
So you want to do the control group?
Obviously, I want to do the genetics, but I just don't want him to make me into a turkey boy.
I want to be a turkey boy.
I want to be a turkey boy. Yeah,
okay.
Let's do genetics.
Okay.
If we don't become turkey boys, I don't know what's going to happen to you.
Pass out.
Upon letting the man know you wish to help with genetics, a slow smile grows on his face.
Oh, God.
Several seconds pass before you even see his stained teeth. Judging by the
Oh, my God.
Judging by the clock on the wall behind him, it's a full minute before he has managed a crooked half smile. Good. Very good.
Oh, my God. That's so awkward.
You will be a necessary cog in my empire. You see, Frapsy will be the foundation, but there's so much more to discover, so much more to combine. We've made great strides over the last few weeks in our research. Just last month, we successfully oversaw the creation of a gray sheep. You see, we took the dominantly gened black sheep and mated it with a recessively gened white sheep. But aren't there gray sheep already, you ask? The man slams his hand on the desk. At first, you think it was in anger, but when you look at the desk, you see that he simply missed a giant button near an immaculately clean mechanical keyboard. He slides his hand over and pushes the button.
Oh, my God.
As soon as he does, your chair seat slides out from underneath, leaving you to fall through a metal shaft built into the floor.
Wow, you fucked up.
You try to grab onto the sides to slow your descent, but you find the walls covered in a thick layer of grease. After a few seconds, you land unceremoniously into a small padded room. The room itself has no windows and is sparsely furnished with the bare necessities. A bed, a toilet, a sink, and a chair are all there is to occupy your mind.
And prickly pears?
And prickly pears. Don't have to have any worries or strife.
Yeah, that's for sure, because you can just bounce off the walls. No, can we just sing that song? Pawpaw. I'm sorry, it's not prickly. Well, no, there were prickly pears too.
They're prickly pears, yeah.
But there's pawpaws.
Yeah. All right.
I have to make sure I get all of this out, okay?
A bed, a toilet, a sink, and a chair. All there is to occupy your mind. Well, other than the door. Oh, and the cameras. You would have thought the company would use hidden cameras, but instead there are several large VHS recording video cameras strewn throughout the small room, all recording.
So they have to come in and get the tapes.
You find you are unable to open the door, but you pretty easily turn off the cameras. Sometime later, the door opens and an armed guard comes in, trailed by 2 men in lab coats. The first one steps to the table and sets down a box of unopened mac and cheese. The other sets down a generic brand container of mayonnaise. Once they've arranged it, the first scientist directs you to eat.
Ew.
You start to protest, but the armed guard levels his gun at you. Reluctantly, you open the box of dry macaroni and scoop some mayonnaise into it. The scientists carefully study your reaction as you eat the majority of the box's contents. After a few minutes, one of the scientists addresses you. So, Subject 867, what did you think of our newest creation? He asks expectantly.
Wait. Macaroni.
That could be it.
Put the cheese part in, or just
macaroni? What did you say, Megan?
Put the powdered cheese in too, or just dry noodles with the mayonnaise?
I would put that cheese in there.
They give you the cheese?
You've got to. Otherwise, just crunchy mayonnaise.
Well, it's an unopened box, so I would assume it would still have the powder in there.
Ooh, what if it's the Velveeta kind?
So hard.
That's a lot of sauce, though. Like, you already have the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
What do you need more sauce for, am I right?
I always need more sauce.
You start to voice just how disgusting you thought it was, but before you can, you notice the armed guard is shaking his head side to side while adjusting the grip of his gun. It was great, you say? I knew it! The scientist responds. He turns to his colleague, who is shedding tears of joy. Quickly regaining their composure, the three of them gather and replace the VHS tapes in the cameras before leaving you locked in the room. It looks like it's going to be a long month. The end.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The end. Yeah, I can't wait to eat that later.
Are we just going to eat that whole bunch?
Can you go get some? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's just going to have to try all the weird shit they give him.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And he can't even say it sucks.
Wait, we didn't get to be a turkey boy.
At least not when that guard's there.
Hang on.
Hey!
I'm sorry.
We'll get to writing. I want to be a turkey boy.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm going to write my Thanksgiving story. We'll have to do that this year since we don't have a spooky Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I want to do my own version of Spooky Thanksgiving.
Wow. So what should we choose now? Just not going, or what were the choices? Not going, not waking up.
So the two choices you guys have are staying in bed or joining the control group.
I guess control group.
Didn't Dad give us a choice?
Dad did not give you a choice.
Really?
Really?
I don't believe you. Roll back the tape.
I guess we'll just be in the control group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so joining the control group. As soon as you utter your choice, the disheveled man behind the desk reveals a strange fruit from within one of the drawers. Holding it above his head, he awkwardly fumbles, trying to crack it open. After a few minutes, you begin to notice beads of sweat on his forehead,
Above
as well
his
as
head?
he's trying to crack it above his head. Yeah.
Okay. That's weird. I believe that he knows what he's doing.
After a few minutes, you begin to notice beads of sweat on his forehead, as well as fresh pit stains enveloping the rings left by previous bouts of flop sweat.
Oh my god. This guy has got to go.
Finally, he cracks open the strange fruit and carefully uses 2 fingers to scoop some of its contents into his hand. Walking around the desk, he ignores how clearly uncomfortable you are and smears some of the strange fruit's goop onto your forehead.
Ew.
Skincare thing?
Seemingly
It's like a
satisfied.
skincare thing?
Yeah, it's a
I hope
skincare
so.
thing. You're going to look so good.
Actually, I was thinking more like the Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to look up the name of that fruit and I couldn't find it.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
Nope.
I didn't remember that scene.
Seemingly satisfied, he hits a buzzer on the desk. Within moments, 2 men dressed in black step in and escort you forcibly down the corridor. Where are we going? You do not respond. Could you at least tell me something about whatever it is I'll be doing? Still no response. Eventually, they lead you to the door of what appears to be some sort of abandoned blast shelter. A couple of armed guards are stationed outside the door. One of them breaks from his post to hit some buttons on a panel nearby. Within a few moments, the door is open. Unceremoniously, you are shoved forward and land with a thud on your face. The blast door is quickly shut behind you. The room is dark, but by feeling around, you notice the floor appears to be covered in dirt and vegetation. Staying low, you slowly try to make your way around and eventually find a few trees. In the distance, there is a faint light. Should you head towards the light or try to explore the edges of the vast room first? If you decide to head towards the light, turn to page 7. Otherwise, turn to page 9.
I want to get my edge on.
Yeah, I kind of feel those edges too.
Okay.
Never go towards the light.
Nope, I already learned that. Megan, I already learned it.
Although the light could mean help, without knowing anything about the inhabitants of this place, you decide it's best to play it safe and strike out on your own. You search through the vegetation and eventually make your way to a small stream. Relieved to have a chance to drink, you carefully move to the stream and splash some water into your face. However, you immediately begin coughing and hacking. It's not water at all. It's Frapsy. You follow the stream, trying to find its source.
It's like Willy Wonka.
After a few hours, you feel weak from the lack of food or water. Eventually, you collapse to the ground, too tired to continue. Moments later, a man and woman in tattered clothes find you by the stream. Hopefully, they'll be able to put an end to your suffering.
Oh, God. God.
The end.
They're just gonna kill you? Or eat you?
Mm-hmm.
Kiss you? Turn you into a turkey boy?
Might turn you into a
Yes.
turkey boy.
Oh, God. Oh, I want to be a turkey boy. Okay, so I guess we have to go to the light.
Moth root.
You recall how your mom always used to say, "Go towards the light," when she would pillow fight with your dad.
Oh my God.
They did get embarrassed that time you caught her and Dad playing. It didn't help that Dad was also asleep, but in any case, the memory stuck.
Oh my God. I understand now, though. Because he seems like he sucks.
Heading towards the light, you realize pretty quickly that it's not just a lamp in the middle of the room, but rather a large fire set out in a clearing away from the trees. You try your best to line up with the trees in order not to be seen by the two people sitting and talking. From what you can see, it appears to be a man and a woman, both much older than you. Their clothes seem to be in tatters, and they are talking in low voices. "This is ridiculous. How long could this really go on?" the woman says in a nasal tone. "You know just as well as I do," gripes the man. "It's just, we've barely been able to survive. The area they've contained us in can barely support the local vegetation, let alone people. We ran out of food so long ago. Why are you telling me all this? It's not like I haven't been here too. Is there someone else who doesn't know about what's been going on that you're talking to?"
Me.
No, it's not that. It's just, we've lost so many people. The woman
my
trails
God.
off. I know, but we've made it somehow when the others couldn't make the tough choice. The man replies with a small smile. The woman responds by caressing the man's cheek with her hand.
Oh my God.
You start to head over to the couple, but as you leave the vegetation, you see the couple has started pillow fighting. Only they don't have any pillows. In fact, the woman doesn't even look bored like Mom does, and the guy hasn't even started crying yet. You avert your gaze and sit in the dirt, at least thankful to enjoy some familiar sounds to those you've heard most nights at home, even if these seem happier.
Oh my God.
Pulled by the lull of a siren's song, or in this case, the desperate slapping of flesh,
Oh my
sleep takes you and you
God.
doze off. Upon waking, you see traces of sunlight signaling the approach of dawn. Peering towards the light source from the previous night, you see the fire is much lower. The woman is also gone, but the man lays asleep near the fire. With care, you approach the makeshift camp. Upon reaching it, you recoil in horror at the scene laid out before you. The man, still nude, lies in a pool of his own blood. His neck has been cut open, and flies are already gathering around the wound.
Ew.
One of his legs seems to have had the flesh peeled back and stripped off in chunks.
Oh my God. Stop.
A few feet away, a makeshift lattice of bone and strips of bark holds the chunks of flesh just above the low fire.
Turkey boy did this.
Before you can retch, you hear the crunch of foliage right behind you. Turning around, you see the woman. Her face and torso are covered in blood spatter. Is it spatter or splatter?
Either.
Okay. Her arms are stained in blood, with one hand carrying a bundle of wood and the other brandishing a knife directed at your face. "Look here, kid," she says in an even tone. "This is my food. I earned it. I've endured the predilections of this torturous experiment long enough. Something had to break, and something had to die. I made sure I knew my place in all this."
Ooh. Frapsy?
How long have you been here? My dad said I have to help for a month, you reply, unsure what else to say while being threatened with a knife. The woman begins to laugh. "A month? Are you serious? You won't last. I've seen it happen to the others. There were 5 of us brought in at the same time, but whoever set this up didn't give us supplies. They didn't give us anything. So he and I did what we had to in order to survive." You can see that she started crying. "God, a month. What I wouldn't give to go back 7 hours ago before all this started." She gestures away from the campsite. "Go, just go, and pray I don't find you when I'm finished here." Her tone is all the convincing you need. You sprint away towards the woods, hopeful that you can last 29 more days.
God.
The end.
Oh man, we're finding all the really great endings here. I don't know which one I want to be canon. All right, so you know what? I think I don't want to get up after all.
Might as well stay in bed. Be a turkey boy in our dreams.
Get out of bed. Why would you do such a crazy thing when the mattress is so comfortable?
I mean, right?
The curtains are drawn, the comforter's weight presses down on you, but you can breathe easily. Your right leg is sticking out from under the sheets to help maintain the perfect temperature. Yeah, Dad's surprise can wait a while. Your mind wanders off to dreams of cultists in the woods fighting against a ragtag army of woodland animals.
Hooray!
Oh, wow, nice. See,
Yep.
don't get up.
You showed me, I guess.
That sucks.
I'll do this
Yeah.
for the rest of my days.
Yeah, Megan's gonna start hitting snooze.
A lesson well learned.
That was an amazing tale.
Thank you.
Can't
thank
believe
you.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to be a turkey boy, but I did get to find a new favorite
And
food.
it's nicely setting us up for October.
I'm scared of macaroni. What was the other one? Macaronis. That one's more of a party food because it's like Macarena.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you said it that way, I thought like, hey, macaroni.
Oh, it'd be just a really floppy
That's what I
dance.
want. Yeah. And only middle schoolers like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a food that middle schoolers would love.
Macaroni and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cheese
If you hold a piece of dry
I guess.
macaroni in your mouth long enough, will it soften up?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Why don't you test it?
Wonder how
See how
it'll
long it
take.
takes. Tootsie Roll Pop style.
I
You're
have
not
to
gonna be
lick it.
able to
I can't just hold it in my
resist.
mouth.
You can. Just think about the owl while you're doing it.
All right. So, we do have an email to share with you guys from our Strange Paths account.
Shit. This has never happened before.
Shh, don't tell them that. It's happened all
They
the time.
haven't been here.
This is the first one they've listened to. We get emails every week.
This is the best email we've ever received. But it's also the worst email.
Wow.
It's the best one. Yeah. Thank you for emailing us. What does it say?
All right. So, from an email from Dakota, says, "Hey guys, I've been listening at work for about a week now and love the podcast. Eggs, frapsy, and all.
Well, yeah, those are the things you come for.
I used to read a lot of Choose Your Way stuff, and I found a couple that are actually in app form. You can't go page to page, but the stories are a little more in-depth.
Huh.
Choice of Broadsides is one I think you would like. Make your main character a female for an interesting story. Or one called Diabolical to Play as a supervillain taking over a city. There's a lot of
That
other
sounds
ones.
rad. I want to be a
Yeah.
supervillain for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of other ones out there too. Love your podcast and hope to hear lots more in the future.
You will, unless we all die.
Wow, that's interesting, though. We might die. It is
almost
Halloween
time.
month next month.
Next one.
Yes.
Harvest time.
But yeah, maybe we should try doing one of the apps for an episode
That'd be fun.
sometime.
Yeah, maybe. Sure. Thanks, Dakota.
Yes,
We enjoy you. We enjoy you. Email us
Email
more
them.
times.
Email me at bozosglowglobes@gmail.com. Oh, looks like I got emailed. Sorry. Yes.
Hot off the presses.
Wow.
Dear Sean, you remember him.
Oh,
Of pepperoni
of
fame.
course. Wait. Who?
Of
okay.
the Garglock Shans.
Yes. He says, look who's been spotted looking lively on the Atlantic City Strip. Bunch of goofballs. And it's a picture of Brad Pitt and George Clooney, and behind
Oh yeah. I think
yes.
Sean tweeted that to
it's
us as well.
Oh,
Garglock. hanging out.
Garglock.
He's with the boys.
He's with the
famous
boys.
Mm-hmm.
He is famous.
Oh, guess what?
Okay.
My other email is from Dakota. I'm assuming it's the same one.
Oh,
Ooh.
shoot.
I guess our new friend Dakota says, if you have a leaky radiator, crack some eggs in it and it plugs the hole.
Nice.
That's
Tool
a hot,
tips.
hot,
That's a
hot
hot
tip.
tip.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, Big
ooh,
Egg's gonna
burn.
love that. They're gonna latch onto that. It's a whole ad campaign.
Yeah, they can just package like radiator eggs.
And it's nice to know that I have other uses for my spoiled eggs other than feeling guilty about
You
them.
can use them to massage yourself.
Haven't you ever done that?
Mm-hmm.
You can use them as a hair mask. Or a rotten egg as a hair mask. Perfect. So nourishing.
As a hair mask?
Oh, yeah.
Like to hide my hair?
No. Like a nutrient, like a
okay.
like a
You can
deep
just,
conditioning
Gotcha.
mask.
Put them on your eyes when you're asleep for like a is it gonna happen game. You know, you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe
Yeah.
it's fun,
Yeah.
no?
is
Are you
what
gonna,
going to happen?
hit your face and you're gonna get rotten eggs in your eyes, or are you gonna behave yourself in your sleep?
Oh. Are
Yeah.
you treating it like
Yeah,
a
but on
shaving
yourself.
cream prank?
Yeah.
Where like I'm going to scratch my face and accidentally smash
yeah.
rotten egg.
Ah! Got me.
Thank you, Dakota. And you hear that, big egg? Come on. We're gonna get you.
Yeah, we're waiting. Strange Paths. What is it? Strange Paths Podcast
I
at
eat
gmail.com.
17 dozen eggs every day to help me get large. And they haven't done anything for me except provide
Yes.
me with everything I need.
Yeah. That's all. You have to throw them up in the air in their
While
shells.
singing.
Catch them in your mouth. Yeah, and they smash in your back of your throat and you eat them.
Yeah.
Got your fiber?
But you can see it go down your neck and
But-
massage your polyps.
The problem, though, is I find that whenever I do that, I become unnaturally angry at anyone who's different than me.
And I'm like, I want to burn them.
Yeah. And I try to get everyone in town
Yeah.
riled up as well.
He does. He goes out
Then
there
you
womping
reject
and a
all the
whooping.
Super hot triplets.
Oh, God, they're so
is
attractive.
wrong
What's
with
wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pulsed on.
Just like the bookish type, I guess.
Oh.
Aw.
All right.
Ah.
That sounds like a good
Okay.
closing place.
Yeah. Tweet it. Tweet us at Strange Paths Pod on Twitter. I said all this stuff.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, and thank you for emailing us. Bye.